right, let's get started. I feel like I've been away so long. Welcome to the show. If you're just joining us, I just did 3 hours filling in for Joan Esposito's show, and boy, is my butt tired. I feel like I've been polishing this stool for days now. It should have a high shine on it. And I'm still gathering my clips because I started. Hold on. This is super. There's so much fun in this. They just hold on. Where do we even? Because it starts as. Oh God. There's just so much awful in this. It's hard to even know where to start. You guys know how I feel about voting. That I think it's necessary, and that you have to keep doing it to eventually get what you want. You can't dick around with it every couple of years and then hold your nose and go, screw you people, and then not expect the people who would do the worst they could possibly come up with from filling that gap that you leave there. And it is one of the biggest places where I part ways with this person. This would be Anna Kasparian. She is seen here in a TikTok video. We'll get to the blessings of TikTok in a while later. This is they post these as YouTube shorts, but this is her TikTok. She decided, it's not we got to do more than just. Let's see, move this up here. We got to do more than just what we said about this topic on the show. We got to add this to the TikTok. The kids need to hear this. This is for the kids today. And by kids, I mean the CCP, because I don't know if you guys recently saw this, but a report just came out that while TikTok, the American company, part of the company that owns TikTok, cannot look at your user data the way, in keeping with the rules around the Apple App Store and the Google Store and all that they keep to those rules. The Chinese side doesn't have to at all. They can just download your shit without asking. They just get to keep it. So I will not be on TikTok. I will not encourage anyone to be on TikTok. And I will not use TikTok because that would encourage some people to stay on TikTok. Fuck TikTok. TikTok is malware. Get it off your phone. The AI algorithm in TikTok is one of the most grotesque technological endeavors on the fucking planet right now. So that said, I'm sure she has something lovely to say. This is, by the way, ostensibly someone who in theory would be for, say, putting a black woman on the Supreme Court. And in theory, getting an infrastructure bill passed or getting us out of Afghanistan. So we're no longer in Afghanistan expending, blood and treasure and would rather be out of there and leave the people of Afghanistan alone. She would arguably, in theory, be for this. She would also be for, someone raising a president that single-handedly raised the federal contractor minimum wage to $15 an hour, even though they don't have the ability to do it, legislating for the whole country. They can do it in every capacity they can, and they have. She would be for that. And certainly after Roe v. Wade and all these things, you'd think she would want someone that would be in office that would continue to do these, instead of undermining that person within the first year and a half they're in office and making them a pariah or a monster somehow. You'd think, no, I wouldn't. Okay, let's see what this is. Joe Biden, this is titled, Joe Biden would be, sorry. Okay, your video says nuts, not stupid. And I think we have to make a distinction here. Nuts, you're talking about crazy, kooky, wacky, and stupid, what you do for a living. I don't think he's trying to eat your lunch. I think we'll split that. We'll split in the middle and just go with goofy. He needs to sit his ass down and take his nap. So ageism, and that's predicated on, well, we'll see. It's got to be linked to something other than her just general. Maybe she has a problem with the vaccines.gov, the CDC's vaccination process. You're ineffective. You only passed the first gun legislation, the first infrastructure bill in 30 years, have the deficit, have unemployment, got 70% of the country vaccinated, got us out of Afghanistan, and realigned NATO with its original purpose, and helped shepherd in 2 new members. And also 9 new chip factories opening up in the United States to make the super high quality computer chips that we need for everything from aerospace to supercomputers. What else? And the most union friendly legislation and executive orders in our country's history, but ineffective. What was the effective part? What was this? Which she's got to be referring to something. You're a failure. Okay, so he wasn't supposed. Look, Joe, sorry. You were supposed to say you're going to get a black woman on the Supreme Court. You weren't supposed to do it. You were supposed to say you're going to get an infrastructure bill passed and not actually do it. You're failing by following through with all these things. You have failed the electorate. The electorate that showed up in the last election largely by crossing over from right and center leaning people to vote for you while causing Democrats to lose seats, that electorate that cost Democrats House seats and gave us a 48-seat minority in the Senate. You have failed the clip is muted? Motherfucker, really? Oh, back up. Hold on. We'll reload it. Hold on. Damn it. I'm going through this whole stupid thing and that's what it comes from?
Joe Biden would be stupid to run again in 2024.
Joe Biden.
He needs to sit
Joe Biden, he needs to wait.
His ass down, take his nap. Why do you?
He needs to sit his ass down. Okay, we'll go back to where we were. I'll fix this. I fixed it. Sorry. Yes, the TikTok had no sound. I had to adjust in the thing because it's just weird. All right, because I was doing the other show and I didn't switch the other thing on. Okay, I'll wait till you guys catch up. So let's hold on one second. Let's see. See if I can get. No. I want to find something before we get into this lovely young lady's nonsense. Okay. So let me grab this if I can. There you go. So this is just 2021, just so we're all caught up, so we know what we're talking about before we talk about what she's talking about. I fixed the sound. We'll be all right. She should be okay now. You should be able to hear her after this. The $1.9 trillion COVID relief deal, the $1 trillion partisan infrastructure bill, bipartisan infrastructure deal, 72% of American adults fully vaccinated, federal judges appointed and confirmed, the most diverse group of them in our nation's history. And by the way, an economy where the unemployment rate has dropped to 4.2%. It's now 3.7%. But there's some big disappointments. No Build Back Better passed by the Senate, signed into law. Okay, that's over there. Ditto on voting rights legislation, still Senate failure, and we don't have the votes. We had 48. Vaccination rate that trails much of the world. That's because of intransigent maggots who don't want to get it. Big political losses in Virginia last month while we got New Jersey. That was it. And inflation that keeps going up and up. Okay, so inflation, you've failed the electorate. You should sit your ass down and take a nap. Here we go.
Want to run again in 2024. You're ineffective.
Why do you want to run again? You're ineffective.
You are a failure. You have failed the electorate.
You have failed the electorate. Okay. You have failed there's still no sound on that video? That's not possible. Hold on. I've got to scroll forward. You guys can hear it now. You can hear it now. You have to. Please mute it. Right. That's what I was saying. I was like, you're going to regret it. You're going to get what you asked for. And then that's what happened. And by the way, this is neck vein angry Anna action figure.
You have all these people showing up to vote, canvassing on your behalf.
You have all these people showing up to vote, canvassing on your behalf. She didn't do any of that shit. People showed up to vote because they could vote from home largely. As a matter of fact, in 2020 specifically, more people didn't have to show up to vote.
Ensuring the two Democrats won the Senate runoff races
in Georgia, right, in one state. Yes. None of the other states were part and parcel of that. And a big part of that, by the way, was that Donald Trump did what TYT does all the time, which is muted their own side's vote.
Georgia, because you said it was so important to have that majority in the Senate.
It was, but it's still a hair's breadth majority in the Senate. We don't have an actual majority. We have 48 senators that are Democrats, including Manchin and Sinema. We have 2 independents that caucus with us. We can make it anything like getting somebody through on the SCOTUS or, confirmations, judges in particular, or the debt and deficit servicing and the debt ceiling, that kind of stuff. Debt ceiling's not, that needs more people to do. But passing a budget, for example, is 51 votes. We do that because we have the fucking vice president. We don't have a majority in the Senate. We have a hair's breadth majority. We, the Democratic Party, with all of our great ideas, which I truly believe in, have only elected less than half of the senators in the Senate. Republicans have 50.
And then you turned around and did nothing.
Nothing! You didn't do nothing, okay? You didn't do nothing. Nothing. You didn't do nothing. You did nothing. You came in, you left it, you didn't pass a rescue package, you didn't get people vaccinated, you didn't get us out of Afghanistan, you didn't cut the deficit, you didn't cut the unemployment in half, you didn't forgive like $10,000 worth of native debt for students, you didn't raise the minimum wage for federal contractors, you did nothing, okay? You're nothing. Is it seriously? What the fuck did she do? You yell at show up at 2 primaries and 1 protest that weren't for Biden at all. As a matter of fact, were dedicated to not being for him. Yeah, nothing. You had to do nothing
for the American people.
You did nothing for the American people. Fuck infrastructure. It's terrible. Nothing for honestly, look, you don't have to like it. Or you can think it needs to go further. But for fuck's sake. And again, remember, this is the part she wants the young'uns to see. Because I'm sure this piece was on the show, but they cut this little piece and put it on the Young Turks TikTok and on their YouTube shorts for those kids with the short attention span who aren't going to, I guess, do any deep dives. And again, are they just getting mad that gas prices are starting to go down and that the Democrats actually have a chance to not have face a trouncing in the fall because people are recognizing the genuineness of the threat? They're taking it seriously, where she and her fellow assholes over there did not take it seriously in 2016. And don't give me that they told you to vote for Hillary. They did in the last 6 weeks after telling you she was a monster for months. You don't get to roll that back. It's why a bunch of their viewers left.
Sit down. Don't run again. It would
sit down. Don't run again. Don't do it. 'Cause I'm so mad.
be a massive mistake.
It would be a massive mistake, okay? And I mean, of course, I encouraged Cenk to run, and that worked out well.
This is not an endorsement of what the Republicans are doing.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it fucking well is. That's exactly what it is. It's do your worst. Fill your boots, mate. Knock yourself the fuck out. We will not stand. And if Biden runs again, this is me letting everybody know that I'm going to do my damnedest to make sure that our crowd, our audience, doesn't show up. And not only that, that they will blame Democrats who are up for re-election or are running this fall for the gripes she and Cenk and whoever the fuck else is over there have against Biden. Because this is a midterm coming up. Do you understand? Biden's not on the ballot. He wants more Democrats elected, but he's not going to lose his job this year. This kind of bullshit is all about, like, I suppose, diminishing the vote turnout this fall. Good Lord.
I am furious.
Really? I didn't get that.
That the corporate Democratic Party.
The corporate Democratic Party. That, by the way, that means you, squad. That means you, Bernie. You're not getting off easy.
Fearmongers about the right wing and then enables them. They
enables them? What do you think your show does?
enable them day in, day out.
Enables them day in and day out. All right. I mean, I know, I understand what these words mean and the order that they're in, but I'm not sure what she's referring to.
I despise these people.
Yeah, you just think they should get through so they can destroy the country even worse. So, because when we do build back better, it should be from rubble.
They all need to be primaried. They need to sit down, get the hell out of the way.
Okay, all right. First of all, we're past the primary, fucko. The primaries have happened. They did get primaried. There were primaries. And with the Roe v. Wade story as part of the ballot, as part of the decision-making process. Christ almighty.
And let actual leaders do the governing. Joe Biden would be...
What do you mean actual leaders? I'm dead serious. Again, these are just hyperbolic statements or whatever. But the point of the whole purpose of this is to get Democrats not to vote. Is to get their crowd of Democrats not to vote this fall. Period. End of story. It's honestly, the only reason they talk like this. That's the only purpose. It's not going to help get an AOC elected in West Virginia or Indiana or fucking Iowa or Idaho or even the redder parts of California. It's not going to do it. All it's ever going to do, all this shit ever accomplishes is getting a certain demographic of people who get their online left-wing news from TYT and the surrounding echo chamber that they're in. All it does is make them the day of or a couple of days before go, fuck it, never mind. That's all it does. These assholes have never motivated a single activist who wasn't already on the trail. Not ever. You guys. Yeah, this is infantile, useless bullshit. And by the way, she's not alone. They're posting a bunch of these fucking things. Look, it's Cenk. He's got some stuff to say. This is by The World Thinks America is a Madhouse. A madhouse! This is because he's talking to his foreign investor friends overseas, I guess. Is that what we're saying? This I gotta hear because like I said, the diet, the gastrointestinal problems of many people who gorge on foreign news diets quickly to make up for their lack of for their being low information about these things is often funny to watch. But this is good. See, this is their TikTok. This is their Young Turks TikTok, because they're reaching the kids. This is what they want the kids to think about. This is the message that they want the young voters, the most impressionable minds. They don't want to have longer, they know they're not going to have long, deep conversations. These are kids. I mean, their brains are half gelatin, right? But the world thinks America is a madhouse. And this, what do you think? More than likely, this is about the shooter. Do you think this is about him using the Highland Park shooter to say that internationally we look like shit because of this?
Anyone outside the country, because you have a skewed perspective inside America because of our media. You talk.
What does our media tell us, that shootings are good?
Talk to people outside the country. They think this place is a madhouse. They can't believe that the right wing has turned this place into an absolute mental asylum.
Yes, and you played no part in the ratcheting up of that nonsense.
And the Democrats have done nothing to counter.
Nothing. They don't do nothing. They don't do, the Democrats, they don't do nothing, huh? They don't do nothing. They sit there, they let them do their shit, and they don't do nothing. That's what I think. I'm sitting over here I'm in a foreign place. You don't need to know. None of your fucking business. But I'm sort of quasi-European heavy accent guy. Who cares? But the point is, I look at you and you got these January 6 people, they running up the steps, they stepping on their own people. It's fucking hilarious, man. And then, see how I'm mixing the accents to try and keep them so you don't know where he's from? All right. And then I look over the Democrats. What are the Democrats, huh? Where are they? Where are the Democrats? What are they doing? I mean, we got 21% inflation in my country, and you guys got 7%, and you're bitching about it. I paid $12 for gas. You guys pay a third of that. Man, what the fuck? And then the Democrats come in and they don't do nothing. And by nothing, I mean they don't stay in Afghanistan. They don't let their bridges collapse. They don't just go, hey, fuck you, country boy. You don't know internet for you. Jesus Christ.
Counter it. So
they don't do anything to counter it.
Anna's point.
You have been watching the January 6th committee. You do realize there's an investigation going on where they're actually parsing through thousands of hours of video that was posted on that day. Social media posts, messages, phone calls, both of hidden messages and overt conversations, speeches and conversations and podcasts where they're coordinating this shit. But they don't do nothing. They don't do nothing.
They'll say, wait, your right-wingers say that they're pro-life, but they don't mind 19 kids being murdered in Texas because they want their gun rights.
Yeah, I gotta say, it sounds a little bit like Sicily in, because we're all Catholic, but I don't know if you saw The Godfather, but
Profits over people.
They're like, what?
Profits over people. Huh? Profits over people? What kind of Jacobin bullshit is that? They're just gun nuts. That's not, what? That's what she's piping in?
But they just literally don't get it. They're like, well, how could you be pro-life if you say, no, I want there to be AR-15s that mow down your kids 24/7?
By the way, you do realize the vast majority of Americans have this same reaction as this mythical foreigner you're talking about, who's so much smarter than the rest of, yeah, that's how the rest of us, yeah. I'm from a foreign country, and I'm afraid of Czechs, and I'd like to ask you a question. Why you gotta have so many goddamn guns?
they say outside the country, we would never.
Outside the country. You mean, he means Canada. Doesn't he? He's talking about someone he spoke to in Canada. We say this inside the country, fucko. That's what all the Democrats are saying. Like all of them. I mean, Cenk might as well be. He's like, this foreign person that I was talking about. It was, what was his name? Beto O'Rourke. I don't know if you know this fellow, but he's been on the news talking about this. He's in some magical fairyland Nordic country where they've handled the gun issue in Australia stand. And he can't believe we're this fucking dumb.
Never allow our kids to be massacred on a regular basis. What is wrong with you people?
I'll tell you.
What is wrong with you people? Yeah, I literally was just having a similar conversation about this very thing with on the radio in Chicago like an hour ago. And, again, what is his... Okay, maybe it isn't that he's speaking about Americans in the abstract. Maybe he's just, when he's talking to Cenk, he was shocked at how Cenk didn't seem to give a fuck. Maybe Cenk was just shrugging it off. Maybe that's what. Maybe he wasn't talking about Americans in general. He's just talking about you.
And then on top of that, you claim to be pro-life in favor of saving kids' lives? They're like, it just doesn't make any rational sense at all.
Yes, I mean, this has been a fucking conversation on the among Democrats for fucking ever. What are you talking about? How is this a foreign conversation? This sounds like something. He's like, I saw it on this foreign channel, MSNBC.
At all. What is wrong with you people?
What is wrong with you people? Why don't you vote more than one fucking election in a turn and quit letting the perfect be the enemy of the good and get, oh shit.
Talk to anyone outside the country.
All right, but that's the slice. These are the two things. These are their two TikTok, YouTube short editions for the day. The primary one being that Joe Biden should, because he's old, because he's old, he shouldn't run because he's done nothing. And then this one's about some strange foreign person that Cenk was talking to in confidence. He doesn't have to tell you who they are. He doesn't need to dox Pepe Le Pew, right? They don't do nothing. How come you do these things and I don't do nothing? Cenk is the same age as me. Really? Is he really? Cenk and I are the same age? Huh. Curious. Cenk is still butthurt about losing his election. Hey, look. He needs to run again, unlike Joe Biden, who won hands down with more votes than anyone in history. Biden needs to sit the fuck down, okay? And Cenk needs to run, because true leaders. I am 52. I'll be 53 in September, just a few months away. It's true. When did Cenk run? In the last election. He got 5,000 votes. He spent $1 million. And you know what he did the entire time he was running? You know what he did the entire fucking time he's running? No. I know what you're thinking. He attacked the Republican that was running and viciously because of what they wanted to do to that district and the people of that district. And he cared deeply about them. He just went after them like bullishly and said, look, I'm not going to attack the people who I'm running with, who are trying to get the same job as I am. I'm going against, we've got one enemy, it's the Republicans, we got to go. No, fuck that. He attacked the woman who was running and diminished her vote amongst, I guess, his kind of voters, or just try to get a couple of cuts in. And he got 5,000 votes and she lost by this much. It's what pricks do. Holy shit. But hey, what do I know? They got millions of subscribers and I'm just humping along in my basement. What do I know? What I know that I've been right about fucking everything. write about everything, not fucking everything. That's different. That would be exhausting. And I'm going to guess at some point you're going to get electrocuted. Anyways, you're watching HAL SPARKS Mega Worldwide. The anti-TYT in so many ways. One is I'm by myself and not surrounded by yammering assholes with $1 million houses decrying the state of the impoverished. And also, I actually want the things that they say they want, but I want them to actually occur, not pat myself on the back for going down swinging. Oh yeah, I can't. Yes, that's true. And I have yet to deny a genocide for any period of time. And if I ever did, I decided, I was like, oh shit, that was wrong, and I'd walk it back. I'd actually walk it back, and still, instead of just kind of going, yeah, I mean, it's totally, you know what, it was wrong of me to say. Wait, it was what? Wrong of you to say sounds like saying it was the problem, not believing it. That's walking a genocide denial back like that. That sounds a lot more like one of those unapology apologies where you're just like, I'm sorry if anybody was upset. I don't know. You're only sorry if you were sorry for upsetting the person, for being upsetting. That's what you should. Their studio is very expensive. That's why they need tens of thousands of dollars a month of your money. And by the way, has anybody read Cenk's book? This is hold on. Oh, good. Wait, is this it?
My whole life.
Oh boy, here it goes. Okay. May 6th, 2020. Let's go back in the Wayback Machine to a time when we were all locked down, where we were finally getting around to all those projects that we'd put on the shelf, like fixing the toilet and straightening up the garage. Stuff we still haven't done, but at that time, we were going to finally do it. And some of those things was like, I'm going to start an Etsy store, finally sell some shit and change everything. All right. And that's going to be the big change. That's going to be the big change in my life. And I'm going to do this project I've been doing, and I'm going to make money while I'm doing it because that's my new job. Okay. Let's go back. This is TYT, hashtag TYT, hashtag the Young Turks, hashtag breaking news, which might be the funniest part of this. Cenk wrote a book. Pre-order now. justiceiscomingbook.com. Shall we?
People have been telling.
Hold on. All of his life. Hold on. All my life.
My whole life.
My whole life.
People have been telling me to
The people been telling me.
do one thing.
Do one thing. Sit your ass down. No, that's just Anna.
And they keep saying this, especially since I've been on the Young Turks.
Deodorant. I'm going with deodorant. What do you guys think? Flossing. Dryer sheets. Something.
Every friend I have, every family member, and
So 2 people.
a lot of you guys.
Just the guys. All right.
Will you, for God's sake, do this thing, Cenk?
And so today I'm announcing we are shutting down TYT.
What is it?
Yeah. Get on with it.
Write a book.
Oh, I was way off. Yeah, I thought it involved a loofah.
Fine, you win.
Yeah. Fuck you. Stop bugging me. I've got too much brilliance stuffed in my goddamn head, and I'll finally let it out for some of you plebes. Okay? Bug the fuck off.
The name of the book
is Too Young to Turk. No. Let's see. Cenk in Your Armor. No. Where Uyghur one, Uyghur all. No. Fuck. What's the title? What could be the Keep Hope and Die. No, that's not the phrase. All right. Yes. The Young Turks. It's a picture book, and you. No. All right. What's the name of the book?
Justice is Coming.
Ew. This is his anti-masturbation screed. The Lord will strike you down if you use your fist for the wrong thing. It is justice is coming all over your favorite sock. Ma, get out of my room. Justice is coming. It's got a big subtitle. How progressives are going to take over the country, and America is going to love it. America is going to take it and love it. Justice is coming. Yeah, at that point, I don't think he realized that the justice that was coming was Amy Coney Barrett. I'm kidding. Of course he did.
Of course! Subtitle.
Sorry, I had to sage my mic after he went, of course! Yeah.
How progressives are going to take over the country, and America is going to love it.
Love it. Take it and you like it. We're going to take it over, and they're going to love it after we take over. They're not going to love progressivism first because I'm going to explain it well and actually deliver a message that brings voters over. We're basically going, it's going to be a hostile takeover, and then afterwards, they're going to, kind of like Mao.
Okay, so here.
Why are you laughing at the title they made you use? Because that's your title, fuckhead.
I got a hard copy with me here.
Shoo. Okay, first, no, he doesn't.
Two, is it already written?
No. Of course it's written. Of course. See, it says Cenk wrote a book. Pre-order now. Justice is Coming book. I've got a hard copy of it.
Okay. So here, I got a hard copy with me here too. Is it already written? Nope.
Motherfucker. Nope. Already got a copy. But you can pre-order now something that doesn't exist, but it's on its way. I don't know what the timeline is. Let's find out. That is funny. Sell a book that doesn't even exist. How Trumpy is that?
Some of it is written, but I'm working on the rest.
Some of it is written. What do you mean? The words on the cover?
So what you can do now, it's not out yet.
Really? The unwritten book isn't out yet? Really? I'm sorry. I'm not all up on this kind of publishing mumbo jumbo with all them big book words.
You can pre-order.
Oh, well, I would have to, I suppose. So so you're saying that the book prematurely came out. So justice is coming prematurely, and America's going to love it. This is from 2020.
So,
and by the way, will we check in on the state of the book? You bet your ass we will.
If you go to justicescomingbook.com.
Yeah, somebody already had justicescoming.com, and it's all SCOTUS porn. Justice is Coming is in my Pornhub search results.
Justice is Coming.
Yeah, we know that.
Book.com. You can start pre-ordering on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all other outlets. Eventually, obviously, we'll have it on our at our shop as well.
Eventually, when it actually exists.
And by the way, the pre-orders make a big difference because then based on that, Amazon and the others will order more books.
Yes, that don't exist.
And one pitch here, guys.
Okay, just one.
So first, I'll tell you what's in the book, and then I'll tell you why it's...
You already have. Nothing. Nothing is in the book. Nothing.
Potentially important to buy.
Yes, because if you need some, you know, I love blank books. You guys know me. I collect them. The cover would annoy me, and I wouldn't be able to write any jokes in this.
Okay,
but
easy for me to say. So what's going to be in the book is what we've gone through so far, the battles that we've fought.
Great, so we can relive all the sour grape bullshit that got us nowhere. All right, next.
And I got some stories for you guys.
Oh, it's gonna be steamy. Are you gonna do a whole chapter on guess the camel toe? You guys remember? Yeah, they had a segment on TYT called Guess the Camel Toe.
Some stories I haven't even said on air yet.
What? The amount of shit you say on air? I'm shocked.
And that'll be in the book.
It'll have to, because you won't. I'm not going to buy shit you've already said on air. That's just.
But also how we are going to take over the country with great detail.
Oh, great detail. Okay.
And I'm going to prove that the country's already progressive.
Oh, yeah. We're already there. I mean, basically, Kavanaugh, Trump, Barrett, Clarence Thomas, Mitch McConnell, they're already progressives. They just don't know it yet.
I've already written that chapter.
Oh, good. You're going to love it, I bet.
You're going to love that chapter.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And it's soft and absorbent and quilted.
It is indisputable proof that the overwhelming majority of Americans are already progressive. They just don't know it.
God. But thank you for this. Thanks. Someone is Mysterious Monolith is pre-ordering a Cenk burger. The meat gets there in a few weeks' time, and it will. But it's cooked right now.
Unfortunately, the number one reason for that is the mainstream media.
Yeah, the mainstream media keeps people. That makes people not realize that they already like stuff they decided they don't like or something.
They keep telling you that centrist corporate Democrats and Republicans are the center of the country. That is not true.
Well, the center, no matter what you call it, is the center of the country. It's. I mean, there's a political bell curve that nobody can do anything about. That the vast majority of voters are. That's why there's an increasing number of the independents are literally the bridge in the center of that. There's. Never mind. This is stupid.
We have absolute evidence.
Absolute evidence. This sounds like fucking Mike Pillow shit.
That it isn't true. And so when progressives do take over the country, why is America going to love it? Well, there's also chapters on that. But
yeah, multiple chapters on how you're going to love it. It's basically like prog porn. In the year of the rat. Right.
As you guys know, we're not actually going to just only work for progressives or Democrats. Are we also going to give health care to Republicans? Of course. Okay, we're going to look out.
I have to sage when he does that.
For senior citizens who are Republicans, of course. Are we going to increase the wages of Republicans as well?
Of course. I'm not going to tell you how.
Of course. So when people see our agenda and you...
Our agenda. That sounds weird.
You can get past the mainstream media filter. It makes all the difference.
Yes. Apparently, the book will be so welcoming to right-wingers who don't realize that they're progressives yet, that the only problem they're going to have is that they won't be able to get on regular programs to sell this book because they're afraid that people will come together. Like justice.
And so there'll be definitive cases on each of our policy positions and show you a pathway for how we can win on all of these things.
Yes, similar things were said at the beginning of the Donner Party's travels.
And so the pitch part of it is
the pitch part. Okay, get to that part. Somebody just held up the card that said, "Sell it. TYT needs money." By the way, this is on Giving Tuesday. Hashtag Giving Tuesday now.
If a progressive book goes to #1 in the New York Times bestseller list, and yes, that is definitely possible, and you guys can make that a reality, guess what?
It has to be, it means it's been written already, and real copies of it are sold.
Then all the publishers are going to want to have 100 progressive books.
No, that's not how that works.
Folks in media don't believe it until they can see it with their own eyes.
Yes, I'm in media, and I don't believe your book exists until I've seen it with my own eyes. And a blank book or some other book with a dust cover that you printed.
So
I don't believe it.
That's why other progressive books doing well has led us to a point where we're in a position where we could go to #1.
I'm staunchly in the anything's possible category. Most things aren't probable, though.
And if we go to #1, I swear to God, there'll be 10, there'll be 20, there'll be 100 more books just like this. And
yes, there'll be 100 more books with nothing in them.
That helps to further get the message out.
Yes, and after the 100th book, then we will take over the country, and then we will force people to love it.
And so we have a platform, and you guys are with us.
Yeah, and with us, huh? Oh yeah. Wait 1 second. I know what he means. Hold on. With us. We're he's got to be with us on this thing. You're with us. You're with us. Be with us.
And we could make it go to #1
and
then unleash that. Right now, there's so many stereotypes.
Make it rain, bruh.
Types in the mainstream media about how right-wing does better in media. It is preposterous. And we could prove how preposterous it is. So if you can, pre-order one.
Well, by the way, prove it by writing the fucking book first, at least.
On today, online, again, Justice is Coming, book.com.
Yeah, don't fuck up and go to now I need to know what. Now I need, okay, hold on. justiceiscoming.com. I'm afraid. Hold on. Why is that the first thing? Justice is coming. That's hilarious. Okay, so justiceiscoming.com redirects to the Sports Daily. Sunday's coming. You'll be #1. It's getting closer. This is and it's the same shit over, and it's like a betting site or something. There's promo codes. Want to find the best betting apps or betting offshore bets? How is that Justice is Coming? Whatever. Anyway, they bought that URL and they forwarded it. Well thought out, guys.
Justice is Coming is a different way.
Why not Progress is Coming? Just spitballing. Right? Wouldn't you mean Progress is Coming?
Website, no, I'm kidding. It's fine website, but it isn't about.
Okay, hold on. Oh, sorry, hold on. This is the actual site. A manifesto. Those are looking good these days. especially, post Buffalo. The word manifesto is really carrying a lot of weight for folks, for a new progressive vision. Well, that's no good, because I thought everybody is already a progressive, and you just gotta remind them, like it should be an old progressive remembrance. That'll sell it. Also, I'm just gonna go with red cover is gonna be an issue for some people who think you guys are raging commies. I'm just saying, it's a marketing thing. The blue lightning bolt also is going to make it look like the Republicans are going to think you're trying to stab them with some sort of, Nordic knife. Cenk Uygur founded the largest online news show in the world, the Young Turks, now which he decided to name after the people who carried out the Armenian genocide in an act of absolute ironic hilarity. Now he's written a book that outlines, well, a book that outlines a powerful new progressive vision, one that the American people have been looking for. Look out, Washington! Here we come! St. Martin's Press. This is you can get it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or BAM or IndieBound. Now let's see. Let's go to the Barnes & Noble site. Hold on. Yeah. Amazon. Just is coming. You can get the Kindle version for $15. There's no price on the hardcover right now or the audio CD. It is temporarily out of stock, but only because it's coming out on my birthday next year. I think it's lovely that Cenk decided to release a-ish book, possibly a book, on my birthday, 3 years after this video was put on the way. 2023. September of 2023. Yes, I will be hosting a book signing because in the great philosophical ideal that we are all one and everything and nothing at the same time, being nothing, in the immortal words of Jean-Paul Sartre. How do you spell Sartre? That by being nothing, I am in many ways already in this book, as it contains so much nothing.
About the book, justicecomingbook.com is the right website. By the way, you can also go to cenkuygur.com. That
of course, yeah, that goes without saying.
Also has the same information.
Yeah, it has the same lack of information.
Pre-ordered today, and obviously we'll talk more about it as the book gets ready to come out. Which
gets riddig to come out? Is that how a book is made?
Today, and obviously we'll talk more about it as the book gets ready to come out. Which
gets riddigged to come. It's between written and rigged. It's rigged. There's a lot of rigging involved. These are complicated political ideas, and they require, like a superstructure of cantilevered and straps,
which will take some time.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. We really appreciate it. Another way to show support is...
Oh my God. You can't sell me your book and then try to get me to sign on to membership shit. But this is Cenk in 2020, by the way. This business, this guy. And then this is Cenk now. And the current state of the book is this. Let's see. Hold on. Bam. What does this do? Does that work? Block. No. Thank you. Open this one up. Hold on 1 second. IndieBound. Block. Go away. Gosh, I have to wait till all these things go out. All right, here we go. So if you go to these sites, this is IndieBound. Justice is coming soon. Hardcover is going to set you back $27.99. Individual store prices may vary because, I mean, the autographed version, obviously. This says the digital audiobook's going to be available the day before my birthday, so we can listen to it at midnight, guys. Buy it at a local store. There you go. No, I see. Not currently available for direct purchase. But Cenk wrote a book. Cenk wrote a book. It says wrote a book. Cenk wrote a book. It's wrote, past tense. We can't let these ideas sit. How about here? Bam, Books A Million has it. That's coming by Cenk Uygur. It hasn't been rated yet, but that's because people are just savoring it. They're in love with the chapters about the stuff. Pre-order this, available September 25th, 2023. Free shipping though. $27.99. Yeah, so that's your categorical price. What about nothing from. How about Barnes and Nobles? Yeah, I think the most honest answer we've gotten so far is, sorry we couldn't find what you're looking for. Please try another search or browse our recommendations below. I mean, that's a better subtitle than we're going to make you progressive and you're going to love us for it. Can you pay with Bitcoin? Absolutely. But you have to pay in 2019 Bitcoin. Yeah, book 2, just as the pre-order is coming. Right. Say what you will, but I've never sold anything that doesn't exist. Shit, I have a hard time getting you guys to, telling myself to tell you guys to support the show, even though I'm here every day. Ugh. But remember, the important thing is that Democrats don't do anything. Nothing. The Democrats don't do nothing. And that they don't do anything. And there's a whole chapter of nothing in the book. Young Turks don't write anything. Right, the new book Bernie sold out. That's the Jimmy Dore book, and it comes on fire. You're watching HAL SPARKS Mega Worldwide. Vote.org. That's all I give a shit about right now at this point. Any fuckhead who would tell you can pass on voting or coast on it, or that we have control of the House and the Senate and the administration. When we lost seats in the House, we have a 10 vote margin in the House. 10 human beings out of 500. 10 more of them are Democrats and Republicans. 10. But everybody's progressive, and we're already there, right? And in the Senate, we have fewer elected Democrats than we have Republicans elected in the country. And yeah, are we ice skating uphill because red states with very low populations have 2 senators? Is that an excuse to blame Democrats for that lopsidedness? No, especially if you don't fucking show up to get to vote regularly. Or you're like, what have you done for me lately? Within a year and a half of somebody coming in and cleaning up after the last fuckhead we had, or the person before that. Ugh. Now, let's see. Hold on one second. There's so much stuff. Hold on. This is, okay, I don't know, hold on. I need to find, there's one thing on here I need to find for you guys. Hold on one second. These are so short. Yeah, here we go. Let's do this. So, meanwhile, in the lesser of two evils camps, and let me be abundantly clear. In a lesser of two evils situation, if Cenk Uygur is running against, I don't know, Marjorie Taylor Greene, let's say, I'm voting for Cenk because I think he's an asshole, but that's a long fall off of genuinely, grotesquely evil. Yeah, TYT hates me as well, and I, by the way, I welcome their hate though. That's the difference though. They should hate my guts for calling them out on this bullshit because them yelling at me doesn't affect my brand or my situation because I have, my ethical drive is pretty linear in those regards in terms of voting and people's, prioritizing shit they care about. Their record is really choppy and shitty. So they hate me because I draw attention to that sometimes. And the reason I draw attention to that is not because I want them to go off the air or because I don't think they should exist or that I think that some of the things they're advocating for aren't good things or some of the things they're advocating against or they're decrying aren't bad. It's that they're not helping and they essentially they do more harm than good. And I think they're aware of that a lot of the time. And I think they embrace it far too flippantly considering the seriousness of the threats in this world. Yeah. Meanwhile, Marjorie Taylor Greene calls out the CIA for running secret ops in Ukraine. This is now, I know what some of you are thinking. Oh my God, is she telling national secrets on her weird little show she does from the congressional cloakroom? No, she doesn't know anything. That's one of the best things about Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about any of this stuff is that if anybody heard what she was saying and they made a strategic decision based on it, they would get themselves killed if they're the enemy because she's an idiot. Okay, this is all right, the odd ad. Okay.
But even as the Biden administration has declared it will not deploy American troops in Ukraine.
Yeah, y'all guys.
Some CIA personnel.
There's a bug in there? Or does the CIA have the place bugged? Is that how she's letting us know? If you're being, if they're bugging you, do a one cheek sneak for yes and do a double cheek for no. Just let us. Is that a maybe? Sorry.
Have continued to operate in the country secretly.
Secretly. Okay, so you're telling, I guess, national secrets?
Mostly in the capital of Kyiv, directing
Yeah, but okay.
much of the vast amounts of intelligence to the United States. And it
Sorry, the CIA is in the capital directing most of the intelligence to the United States. All right. I'm going to go with can't read.
Sharing with Ukrainian forces, according to current and former officials. I'm not telling you anything you can't read yourself. This is in the New York Times.
Which is a trusted source for news. I agree. Look at that, Marge. We've already agreed on something. If you read something in the New York Times, you can take it to the fucking bank. Oh yeah, this is turned way down. Sorry.
At the same time, a few dozen commandos from other NATO countries, including Britain, France, Canada, Lithuania, also have been working inside Ukraine. The United States...
Yeah, commandos. That's the assumption is that they were sent there versus people who are retired or doing something else and are going there of their own free will.
Withdrew its own 150 military instructors before...
By the way, the entire purpose, I suppose, of this conversation is to greenlight a Russian attack on NATO countries under the premise that because the UK or the United States or anyone else has these people in ground, that is effectively a NATO attack. That gives a pretext on which the Russians can attack NATO countries. And it's defensive. This is the argument she's making.
Before the war began in February, but commandos from these allies either remained or have gone in and out of the country since then, training and advising Ukrainian troops and providing an on-the-ground conduit for weapons and other aid. That's according to 3 U.S. officials.
3 U.S. officials. Um, um, can I just, if I may, ma'am, I'm enjoying the fact that you trust the New York Times. I'm also not sure why you're against this, other than the whole she wants the Russians to win and we're just prolonging the inevitable, the Jimmy Dore argument that she shares with him.
Few other details have emerged about what the CIA.
The CIA, my lord, CIA, CIA, my lord, CIA.
Personnel or other commandos are doing.
What are they doing? What are we supposed to think? They're sweeping up or something? They're just helping. They're there to fix the cable? They're doing some sort of like porn shoot? They think they're just there being sex gurus and setting up gyms?
But their presence in the country on top of the...
They brought presents? All right, that's enough. Look, weapons are one thing. Training people to kill is another. But I don't want the CIA bringing gifts. Unless they're rigged to explode or something. Or spray you in the face with a gas that makes you tell the truth.
Diplomatic staff members who returned after Russia gave up its siege of Kyiv hints at the scale of the secretive effort to assist Ukraine that is underway and the risks that Washington and its allies are taking. So you can ask yourself.
Yeah, ask yourself. Ask yourself.
Is the United States already at war with Russia?
Oh my God.
I think the answer's clear. I think the United States and others are running the war in Ukraine against Russia. It's not difficult to come to that conclusion.
Running, no. Providing support, absolutely. Think of it as a proxy war on the one hand, where Europe is protecting itself because they know, Poland and Moldova are the next to fall, and actually giving a shit about that. It's another thing entirely. The question that has to be asked, I think, above all else, is why wouldn't we?
It's just the fact that the American people weren't asked if they wanted to do this.
Well, we're, yeah, we kind of were, actually, because Trump tried to manipulate Zelensky to give this bullshit press conference saying there would be an investigation into Joe and Hunter Biden. And he tried to manipulate him using arms that would protect them against Russian aggression even before this war started. And then after that happened, the American people had an election and kicked Trump out of office and elected Joe Biden overwhelmingly, a man who said he would absolutely support Ukraine and has even since said that we would support Taiwan if it was attacked. So yeah, we've been asked and we answered. And the American people elected Joe Biden by the largest number in American history.
No, the American people are fed up. They're
fed up. They're sick of they're sick of sitting in crappy wooden chairs in dumb little rooms using 2013 microphones to tell stories out of school that don't make sense to anybody. They're tired of it. They're tired of sunscreen. They're
demanding the Biden administration, people in Congress actually care about our country.
They can actually care about our country. By not caring about other countries. I see. Okay, good. All right. I didn't realize what the standard was. I was trying to figure out, I think so according to Marjorie Taylor Greene, the standard that shows you care about America is in how little you care about anyone else in the world. Just for the record, yeah, in case you couldn't see that behind the microphone. So basically, America is to have the jealous psycho X attitude towards its own people, or that the American people are supposed to feel that way towards its own government, the jealous psycho X. You don't look at another person, okay, ever, okay? I don't care if they were drowning. You fucking touch them, okay? mouth to mouth my ass.
with our American
That I don't know. It sounds pleasant.
tax dollars, not a war with Russia.
Not a. That's what they want. Their tax dollars. Now, in all fairness, she did not post this. Somebody called Red Pill USA Patriots pulled this as a necessary message. Red Pill USA Patriots. I'm straight up Russian. I'm just going to go with that. Let's see. Isn't it interesting the U.S. is running the war but haven't deployed the U.S. military? Now ask yourself why devolution and the wink. Running the war but haven't deployed the U.S. military. Ask yourself why. Well, first of all, we're not running the war. And secondly, that's why we haven't deployed the military. And secondly, we have deployed military to support NATO countries and to train Ukrainians in the use of the gear we're sending. Holy shit, these people are dumb. You're watching HAL SPARKS Mega Worldwide, and boy, is it fun. Oh God, there's so much. Oh yeah, the Georgia Guidestones got knocked down, and they're caring about that. I'm scrolling through a ton of stuff. Since I was doing this other show, and I didn't get to like build up and there's just so much stuff. Hold on, this will do. Hold on. There was one piece that we almost did yesterday that that I was maybe wanting to do, but there's just no time for it. I've been sitting on the stool for so long, I forget what I've done and what I haven't covered yet. That's the crazy part of this. So one of the things, we've covered TYT basically shitting on Democrats for doing nothing, and we've dealt with. Hold on.
What's happening in the way?
Shut up. And we've dealt a little bit with the MTGs, basically saying the Democrats are doing too much. That we should not be helped. Oh, look at that. Hype train. Hype train. Thank you guys on Twitch. I'm sorry if I've been neglecting everybody over there, but I will say that thank you for gifting the subs. We have finally cleared 1,000 subs again. We dipped way below. I felt like the S&P. But if you like the show, like, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. Thumbs up on your way out the door, or even right now while you're sitting there. You can just do it. I'll just wait. Just go ahead. Stand up and stretch a bit. I would, yeah. I need to put on a sleep mask and just do the whole thing. There's so much crap around here. This is ridiculous. All right. Anyways, I'm getting distracted and it's probably, I would call it just avoidance behavior, because when your choices are the kind of stuff I have to look at sometimes, as far as dealing with these folks, it's hard, I guess. Okay, hold on. Let's go to the other end of this. I think a good way to bookend this is and this, I think actually this might relate to something that Anna said at the beginning of the show. If you're watching this as a clip, you can go watch the clip about TYT that it will invariably be up, and probably related to a similar news story. And it's interesting that Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur agree completely with Karl Rove. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Karl Rove on Fox Business, because they won't have him on the regular Fox channel. And Fox Business is for people who will turn down being on Fox Nation because it's below them. It's gross, and I mean, Jimmy's always hanging out there with Tucker. It smells. The whole place smells like balls. It's just bad. Yeah. So, but Turd Blossom, good old Karl Rove, that's right. He believes, the exact same thing that Cenk and Anna do, for different reasons, allegedly. And I will say allegedly, because I have yet to see either of them accomplish their major goals, and therefore their reaction if they actually did. Most of the time, it seems like if they get close, they get very agitated and very angry. And so I hesitate to say that they're genuine in what they're presenting as what they would like to do tactically or policy-wise. All right, so this is Karl Rove saying it is unlikely Biden will be the candidate. Top Democratic strategist in the Hill says something. Our house is on fire, and it seems like they're doing nothing to put the fire out. They're just watching it with the rest of us. Is the thing. Let's see where this goes.
Our house is on fire.
Our house is on fire, and it seems like they're doing nothing to put.
And it seems like they're doing nothing to put the fire out. They're just.
I appreciate sort of the old broadcaster voices from 1940. They've got a AI that does it now, I think.
Just watching it with the rest of us.
They're just watching it. Oh, with the rest of us. Well, golly. Oh, Mary, come on over to the window. The house is on fire. Suzu's pedals.
Again, that's a Democrat saying that. Trying to be.
Well, it was a Democrat saying that. A top Democratic strategist. Which, of course, Bernie Sanders' campaign manager.
Now, as former President George W. Bush, senior advisor to Fox.
And the guy he used to call Turd Blossom, for real, Turd Blossom, to his face and when he wasn't around. Turd Blossom. Asshole, Turd Blossom. He used to call him that. This man worked for a guy who called him Turd Blossom and liked it.
Business contributor Karl Rove. Karl, great to see you. Thank you for being here.
That's not true, and I'm sure he's welcome.
I'm just wondering, what do you think Democrats are going to do with
what are they going to do?
President Biden before...
Angry Dems slam Biden. Our house is on fire. Followed by an article in Politico. We don't need no water. Let the motherfucker burn.
At the next Democratic convention.
Well, I don't think he's going to be a candidate in 2024. He's already the oldest person ever elected president. In fact, he's the oldest person ever to be president.
Mm-hmm. And he's got a lot of shit done. Maybe, just maybe, a lot of the factors that we valued in presidents for a while now, especially youth and vigor, aren't actually the best traits you need. Maybe having grandkids and wanting them to survive and thrive is more valuable when you make decisions than, being, one generation away from the end of the world.
He was older by a couple of years the day he was sworn in than the previous oldest president, Ronald Reagan, when he left office. So,
yeah. Meanwhile, I would like to remind you that the Republicans would like to raise the retirement age on Social Security because people are living longer, healthier lives, and they can just keep working. No contradictions at all.
I've said for more than a year that I think it's unlikely he's going to be the candidate. But even
in all fairness, no one listens to you anymore.
Even before we get to 2024, we're going through a process. There's going to be a column tomorrow in the Wall Street Journal. I've read it. It's very insightful, well written.
I think I know who wrote it.
I thought very thoughtful. Yeah, I think I did a hell of a job on it myself.
Oh, okay. So he's on promoting his Wall Street Journal article, which I will not pay for because it's a Rupert Murdoch rag. And so we'll just have to guess what's in it.
I think what we're seeing now playing out is the natural end of the strategy that the Biden administration has been pursuing politically for over a year. Kubler-Ross has the 5 stages of grief. Well, I think there are 6 stages of the.
Oh my God! You need it. You can't do if it's 5 stages. You got to cut it down to 3. 3 steps to ruination. 6. Get fucked.
White House of the Biden White House strategy. The first is denial.
Oh my God! What are you doing? That he's got a. All right, we're whiteboarding again.
When they have
denial, blame someone, change the subject, blame Trump, something other than the blame Trump. Oh well, I guess I do appreciate that you you make a distinction between someone, as in a human being or person, and Trump. That's, I mean, because he's not really a being anymore. He's more of a brand at this point.
Bad news. They describe it in such a way that it doesn't match reality. Kabul, we all saw that disaster. And
Kabul. Oh, you mean when we got out of Afghanistan after being in for 21 years?
Then we saw the president go on television and say it was an extraordinary success.
Right. Well, yeah, it was. I mean, consider how many civilians they got out. None of the civilians were killed. This is a heavy military op. Losing soldiers and only soldiers, even in a circumstance like that, is kind of incredible. Secondarily, Trump made a deal with the Taliban guys that let that ISIS-K fighter who blew the place up through.
Right.
In January or February.
Yes, by the way, that's the article that's going to run tomorrow. You don't need a subscription. It's just that shit. And I think it's, there's 6 things. That one of them is hidden by the ticker that's actually got a lot of green on it.
In February, he talked about the January jobs number and says history has been made.
Yeah.
We had nearly 3 million fewer people working at the end of January than we had working before the pandemic began. And
that's because, along with unemployment going down, wages rose, and in some cases, that affected a family's situation so much that the other parent didn't need to work or could work from home or got to starting a business. Or they had a business that employed multiple people that was killed during the pandemic, and now they had to get a job, and they're going to rebuild that business later, but they've got a job themselves until they get their old job back, their old business back, where they can hire 3 or 4 people.
He said it's been a historic success. And so the start is denial. But after a while, even they figure out they can't keep doing it, so they start blaming somebody. Inflation has been high. So what do? Starting in about April, they say, well, it's Putin's price.
Yeah, just spit it out. Price pipeline, pipe prices, Pied Piper, Putin's pudding pie.
It's Putin's responsibility for gasoline prices. A month later, they're saying it's his responsibility for food prices as well.
Oh my God! It's just like watching one of those learn macroeconomics YouTube channels by a professor at a local college that has put them up, and you can get like credit from that college if you can get all the way through it. Not because you learned anything, just because nobody's ever gotten through it.
But that doesn't work. So they changed the subject in May. It's now suddenly the abortion is all about the Supreme.
Yes, that's what we did. Yeah, the Democrats changed the subject. That basically, by the way, even during this conversation about inflation, whether or not it's the result of international issues or money printing, all the bullshit arguments you've heard back and forth. For the record, Democrats did not change the subject when the leak from the SCOTUS happened. That's the subject. That is a subject that's been around for a long time, and it became the subject.
Supreme Court has acted. Yeah. We've got to make the election all about abortion. And you keep going. Blame Trump was the next thing. And then they said, we're going to do something.
Well, they tried that, but nobody actually thinks Trump does anything now anyway. So they're not going to do that a lot. You won't see them blaming Trump a lot anyways, because, it makes him seem more important than he is.
Something, and we're going to try anything. Throw it up the wall. Student debt relief. Maybe I'm going to sign a bill that investigates global shipping prices. It just.
Yeah, solve a multi-pronged problem with a multi-pronged attack. Right? Yeah, it's a stupid idea.
On and on, but where it ends up is abandoned ship, and we're in the abandoned.
No, actually, I for the record. Right up here around change the subject, the rest of this didn't matter anymore. Right around Roe v. Wade, all the Republicans were like, we're set. This fall, Democrats have stopped giving a fuck. They're going full TYT. They're mad. They're gonna, cross their arms, and they're gonna take their voting ball, and they're gonna go the fuck home. They're not voting this fall. It's gonna be a red wave. The Democrats are screwed. They're never going to, have the similar numbers they had in 2020, and we're going to win. And then a serious issue like Roe v. Wade came out, and it goes against the way independents lean, and motivates and is strong enough to motivate them actually back to the polls. And left of center independents, who are in many ways the laziest low information voters that are out there, have decided they're going back to the voting booth this fall. They're actually motivated. And the fact that the Democrats actually, that's why the Republicans actually had to sign on to a bipartisan gun deal. You think they did that because they were counting on this fall being a shoo-in? They looked at the motivations of Democratic voters coming this fall and were like, oh, fuck, these shootings are actually making a mark. We got to do something. But they can't do anything about the Roe v. Wade issue because they'll lose more than they gain. So they're stuck.
And ship,
and that's what's happening, right? That's what's happening to all the Democrats.
Yeah, it's totally happening. Like they're becoming libertarians now. It's amazing. Like, have you looked over at TYT? They sound like Ben Shapiro.
They're trying to do that, but how do they specifically do it? How do they convince Biden not to run? What would be the process by which they do?
Yes, you were so good at convincing George W. Bush to do whatever Dick Cheney said. How is Kamala involved in this?
Well, first of all, right now they're not thinking that long. They're thinking November. They're abandoning.
Yeah, they're not actually doing. Oh, they're abandoning ship against congressional and House, like House and Senate Democrats.
Ship now because they're trying to save themselves. They're
Abandoning ship because they're trying to save themselves. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that means.
They're trying to say he's failing. And some candidates are going to distance themselves from
Yeah, that's not happening either.
him. And other people are saying he's failing in an attempt to get him to move dramatically to the left and use his executive powers to do things that he cannot legally do.
Right. That's not going to matter materially anyways.
And, they've got a big
Not going to happen. Yeah, Biden's running.
laundry list of those things, executive orders to, for example, establish abortion clinics on federal land.
Right.
I mean, talk about weird things.
Yeah, totally weird. It's weird. You want to make something a states' rights thing, but you want to have these federal facilities play by state rules. That doesn't work that way.
But what we're seeing play out is the result of the White House not having a clear pattern of a picture of what they needed to do, and having built up expectations in the campaign they were going to be a normal Democrat, and then came in and did Build Back Better.
No, they didn't.
And the American Rescue
That's true.
Plan.
We know
And I'm the most transformational
we know it's
president
not working,
since
but
FDR.
again, I just want an idea of how they're going to try to change things and what they replace Biden with. Because let's face it, it's the policies. It's not Biden that's screwing everything up. It's the policies.
Yeah, what policies are those? Rudderless, aimless, hopeless, frustrated Democrats slam Biden administration in new report on the Hill.
That he's been sort of formatted to put in place.
Yeah, see, it's a puppet.
That's what's screwing up our economy. That's what's causing inflation. That's what's causing all the problems from energy.
Yeah, all the problems.
To the border, to Afghanistan, et cetera. It's the
I'm sorry, are we still in Afghanistan? Is anybody... Shit, did we go back into Afghanistan? Did Joe put us back in Afghanistan just to prove a point that he could get us out again?
policies. And I don't see anybody that they have in the wings waiting that would change those policies.
Well, that's true. I wouldn't necessarily change the policies. I'd just be, kind of more charming. No offense, Joe. You're a very charming dude.
No, they're going to sort of assume that changing a personality gives them a chance to distance themselves from Biden. But you're right. That's exactly why it's not going to work this year in the midterm elections.
Okay. Yeah, well then, I mean, coast, dude. I don't even know why you have to write an article.
Because they can distance themselves all they like, but people are going to go in and say, I get to send a message to Joe Biden that I don't like what he's doing and I don't appreciate his quality of leadership. I'm voting Republican. And the same thing is going to
Yeah, that's not how it works. Those people were already going to vote Republican.
happen in 2024. Then they're going to begin looking at Biden versus the potential Republican opponents. But I think a lot of Democrats by then are going to say, look, good man, but he's not up to it, and we got to find somebody new.
I think he's actually there. That's the conversation about Trump on their side, except for the good man part.
And whether that's organic, building up from the bottom, and there are a lot of ambitious people who want
Yes. Tell us about the bottom, Turd Blossom.
to become president on the Democratic side who might jump on top of that, or whether it happens from the top down, the senior leaders of the Democratic Party go to him and say, President, you know, we appreciate it, you're a good man, but you can't run again.
But who's
I don't know how
Carl,
it
once
works,
again, getting back
but
to
it
the
ain't gonna
basics,
happen.
you and I know.
This sounds like the conversation about the 25th Amendment midway through Trump's presidency that people were having, that, you know, there was a lot of reason to believe that, you know, considering like his teeth nearly falling out at one particular press conference, that they were like, okay, it's one thing if you have a lifelong stutter and that's just a, you know, and you're older and so you're traveling a lot and the timing and all that kind of stuff of meetings and whatever, that I'd rather you have you be spry during the meetings and I don't kind of give a shit about your oratory skills necessarily, and putting those on kind of primetime level in a primetime in a modern sense is different than, say, when FDR could kind of, you know, being in a wheelchair, could kind of arrange for when he wanted to speak, and that was that. That's less worrisome to me than somebody who's like, I've got the best memory, the best words, the best brain, I know the best people, who is firing everyone like, I didn't even know that guy. Everybody said he was good, and he turned out to be an asshole. I don't know who he is. Also, I don't remember saying anything like that, but I did. Like, get out of here.
No, it's the policies that makes the difference. I mean, you know, a lot of people that didn't like Trump, but they loved his policies, and because his policies worked, and that's why they voted.
So it's like Joe Biden's in the opposite sense. We love Joe, but we don't like the policies. Is that what we're supposed to think?
For Trump. I mean, I can't think of anybody waiting in the wings from the Democrat side who's going to change a single policy pushed by Biden. Can you?
Well, no, in reality, no, but they're going to sure as heck sound like it. They're going to
No, they're not.
say, look what I did as the governor of Illinois, or look at what I've been trying to do in the United States Senate that was being blocked by the
Wait, yeah, Manchin,
incompetence of the
Pritzker, is that what he's talking about? Yeah, these are the ones waiting in the wings.
Biden administration. And it won't be that cutting about it, but that's going to be the fundamental message. But yeah, the Democratic Party is moving to the left. And the question is there going to be anybody pop up and say, I'm a normal Democrat and I'm moving it back to the center?
Yes, that was Joe Biden, and he fucking won by a lot. And his policies are not far left. They aren't. I mean, look, again, this is the weird part, is that TYT and Turd Blossom are hoping for the same thing. It's like the young Turd Blossoms, henceforth they shall be called. I do agree it. They both want the same thing. They just believe it from two different angles. It's like an idiot pincer move.
Well, there is. There's one person there's one person that does it, and Larry Kudlow say he should run for president on the Democratic side, and that's Joe Manchin. I mean,
right. That's what he was saying, dummy. And yes, Kudlow wants Manchin to run. Get the fuck out of here. They want Manchin to run because they think they can manipulate him, and B, they don't think he can get elected. They want the party to eat itself. It's not happening.
Will there be a time at which, after a devastating loss in the midterms, that they will snap and say, we need somebody like that?
No.
Maybe not him particularly, but somebody in the middle, truly in the middle?
Yeah, well, the bigger the defeat, the more likely it is that they'll wake up. Yeah, the more likely it is that they'll say,
yeah, they're doing this for our sake, guys. They're showing up to vote, to just go, hey, guys, we just don't want you to go too far. I'm not really voting for a Republican. I'm just voting for Democrats not to self-harm.
Rather than having an AOC type candidate in 2024, a Bernie Sanders type candidate, Elizabeth Warren style candidate, we want somebody who's more like,
Joe Biden. Sorry, this is just so lame.
The former lieutenant governor of and mayor of New Orleans, Mitch Landry, who's now in the Biden administration, could be. I doubt it's going to be Joe Manchin.
Why would he be in the Biden administration if Biden's so far left? Oh, never mind.
I just think the animosity towards him among national Democrats is too big. But yeah, is there a likelihood for a more centrist Democrat? Yeah, but it requires a very big defeat this fall for them to snap out of it.
Well, America.
No, it doesn't. And again, this kind of goes to this. Again, this is the pincer move version of the same argument that TYT is making. Is that basically he thinks if all Democrats are wiped out this fall, if like Democrats just lose across the board, they will blame the hyper progressive wing of the party, even though the hyper progressive wing of the party isn't going to lose because they're all in solid blue districts. They're not going anywhere. The only people affected will be the center left or the regular run of the mill Democrats. Those are the only ones that are going to be in danger of losing their seats in these situations. There aren't any far left candidates in non-far left districts. Period. But the idea is he just wants them to get wiped out so that the maggots that have taken over the Republican Party can, I guess, take those seats in an even match. I don't know. That part's hard to figure out. But the TYT crowd, the Young Turd Blossoms, want all the Democrats to get shellacked, so people will support the far left progressives in very blue districts. Both of them have got the psychology of this entire thing wrong, but ultimately, both of them desperately want the Democrats to lose seats. Yeah. And believe me, leaving AOC to negotiate with more Marjorie Taylor Greenes versus somebody who's like an Amy Klobuchar, for fuck's sake. Do you think there's a difference in the kind of bills they can get through in those negotiations versus an MTG? Are you out of your fucking mind? That's the part that I find bizarre. That's the part I find strange, is that the idea is that if we can't get the super Dem in, then fuck the whole thing, and we hope the Republican wins in that district, or we don't care either way, or it'll show the quote-unquote corporate Dems that they're going to lose because we didn't show up for them. That's not what it shows the Dems in those places. It just shows them that you're an unreliable voter that doesn't actually believe what you want. But it also shows believe what you say you want anyways. And what it shows the Republicans in that district is they have nothing to fear from the Democrats because they'll spend so much time fighting each other. All you got to do is split them down the middle. Easy win. They might have more of them in your district, but if you can bifurcate them and turn them on each other, you'll get through, even as the most extreme candidate in the area. And that's why you've got like Mastriano or whatever his name is which is like a nutty dude running in Pennsylvania. He shouldn't even chart, but he will chart because of the idea that there will be infighting amongst Democrats in Pennsylvania. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to lose. But the idea is that if there's any vote shaving or any loss that happens in Pennsylvania, or any where it gets really narrow, it will only be there because people who allegedly believe what the Democrats believe but want more than that are going to not show up, which does not tell the other side that they're committed to these ideas. What that tells the other side is they are easy to dissuade. They are easy to scare off. They are easy to split up. But it's the same thing. By the way, hi everybody. You're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide. It's 9 minutes before the bottom of the hour. And I'm going to fuck off a little early because I've been sitting here since noon. And and tomorrow I've got 2 shows, of course, because we have our regular, morning show and the afternoon show, and it will be a little less discombobulated. And I appreciate you guys being here and joining with me. I appreciate the hype trains and all the support and all the Bethany being a member and Greg being super chatting. Thank you thanks for rattling my cage, Hal. He says, yeah, I am never, ever going to talk anyone out of voting for the Democrat in the next election that can get elected, because anything short of that is electoral malpractice. And even talking shit like the problems I have with Manchin and Sinema are nowhere near on the scale of Republicans. Period. End of story. Sinema's a fraud and full of shit, and Manchin and his bullshit drives me nuts sometimes. But on the scale of an annoying family member, not on the scale of a roaming serial killer who does not give a living shit, who will destroy everything. Look at what Clarence Thomas said. That's their wish list. Between what Clarence Thomas said about, we got to revisit all these due process claims that have come through the SCOTUS, gay marriage, sodomy laws, contraception. That's the plan. It's not even a dog whistle, but that's what they want. And then with Rick Scott's whole plan about every 5 years, we sunset every social program. And if you don't have the votes to get it back up and running again, we don't do it. That is completely out of the realm of reality or decency. We're not even, none of this, like the infighting stuff that goes on the Democratic side about policy or whether or not stuff goes far enough, charts anywhere fucking near that stuff. And the insistence that it does is immoral. It's grotesque. It's a lie. And anybody who does that is planning to get rich on your anger after it happens. There are people that allege themselves to be liberals and progressives in the media sphere, especially in the online media sphere, that are rubbing their hands together at the idea of every 5 years having to, do show after outrage, outrage telethons talking about Social Security and whatnot as it's on the chopping block every fucking time. And this isn't something like, it's always true that they're trying to diminish it or destroy it or retool it so that it's basically useless. A lot of these programs, a lot of these things that help and save a lot of lives. This is always true. But now it's to a draconian level where they're just like, let's just stroke of the pen, get rid of it. And so the idea that Manchin and Sinema, fuck them. No, the only reason they matter is because we let that matter. We lost the numbers. We lost the argument. We lost the sales point. We were the ones who were unable to either craft or convince people of plans that would carry forward. You know who didn't fail at that? Joe Biden. Electorally, he kicked ass. Maybe there's something to learn from the old man. Because once he got in, he's been able to do some amazing things. And it's only just the start. Even if they don't have the House or the Senate this fall, you think he's just going to, fuck it. That's it. We're not going to try anymore. No. That's the kind of thinking you have if you are the kind of person like the young turd blossoms that you give up on stuff just shy of the goal line because missing the goal, that's where bitching about it, complaining about it, fear-mongering over it next time is the thing. While accusing people of running on the idea that they were going to codify Roe v. Wade while always doing everything they could to keep us short of the votes to do it. Vote this year. Vote.org. Fucking end of story. And when we talk about Manchin and Sinema, and when you see me talking about them, if I'm griping about them, and it will happen, on the scale of gripes, 0 being none, horror being 10, they're a 3 at best. And anybody who talks about them in terms of it's worse than that, fuck off. It's the voters' responsibility. They should be completely outnumbered. The popularity of the programs and ideas that Democrats put forward, there's a reason why they're not reaching people, and there's a reason why the voters in certain areas have been denied the ability to vote or have the capacity to vote in certain areas, and we got to fix that. And then we got to fix the communication of those ideas to people who don't speak exactly like we speak, and we can't die on the fucking hill of jargon like we're an ugly American tourist from the 70s in France thinking that louder and slower English is the same as speaking French. I'm committed to do this, and I hope you are too. And as we do the sexy liberal shows that are coming, we got a new DC date that's just been added, by the way. As soon as Steph and them give me the go-ahead, I'll announce the date on the channel. As we do those, you are never going to hear me from this point forward badmouth any Democrat that's running, even if they annoy the fuck out of me, on the same scale as what the Republicans are doing. When what we have to look forward to is Clarence Thomas's plan for gay people and the ability to fire people because they're gay again, fuck that. The idea that they're going to capsize Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, S-chip, welfare support programs, fucking UI, they're gonna capsize all that shit. I mean, get rid of it. Do you understand the tangible, horrible damage to lives that comes from that? And you're like, I don't know why I need to be inspired. Get the fuck out of here. Shame on you if you utter those thoughts. It's gross. And I won't have it. I'm not going to do it. You don't have to act like me. You don't have to agree with me on this point. I'm just telling you what I'm going to do. And tell you what, if and when my attitude about this starts whatever groundswell it might have and curtails some of the damage of these fuckers telling people that voting doesn't matter, and it can help, and we do continue to make genuine progress over time, you can give me a high five in 10 years when you see me. How about that? That's our deal. But in the meantime, every time you're sharing a tweet, and if, once a day between now and election day and into the next cycle, if you want to, send people to vote.org to make sure that they are registered to vote. I love you guys. I'm happy to be here. I'm proud of you. I'm excited even when I have to sit here for 5 hours in a day, because I know that the people in my chat are worth chatting with, and I know that they're having great conversations amongst themselves, and they're welcome, and they're very welcoming to me, and I appreciate it, you guys. I will see you guys later. I got to go eat something. Okay. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow.